All right, so today we're talking about how to prepare for a Wood Assembly Supervisor interview.
Definitely a challenging one.
Yeah, and we're going to use the guides from RoleCatcher to help us out with that.
Absolutely.
We'll be looking at the career guide, the interview guide, and
Even some of that AI magic that RoleCatcher uses
yeah, exactly. It's
to really stand out
Yeah.
from the competition.
Before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty of like the interview questions,
Yeah.
let's talk about the role itself.
Sure.
What does a Wood Assembly Supervisor actually do?
I think a lot of people think woodworking. They think,
Yeah.
I'm going to be out there with a hammer and nails all day.
Right, right.
It's much more than that.
Yeah.
You're kind of like the captain of the ship.
Right.
Guiding the entire wood assembly process from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
You're responsible for overseeing the production, ensuring quality control,
Okay.
making sure everything's running smoothly.
Yeah.
You're also leading and motivating a team of assemblers.
Oh, wow. So it's very much a leadership role.
Absolutely.
It's not just being in there doing the work.
No.
It's overseeing the whole process.
Yeah. You
Wow.
gotta have that big picture view.
Well, that's probably why RoleCatcher says that this job has high job stability.
Right.
It's a lot of responsibility.
You're not just.
Yeah, let's get down to business. Let's talk about the interview questions.
Right.
RoleCatcher has 10 common interview questions
Okay.
that they've identified. And so we're going to kind of go through each of those.
Break them down.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
give you some strategies to answer them.
Awesome.
All right. So the first one is this. Can you walk me through your experience with wood assembly?
That's a classic.
Yeah. It seems pretty straightforward.
It does, but there's definitely a right way and a wrong way to answer that.
Okay. So how would you approach this one?
All right, so the key here is to go beyond just listing your past jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just say, I worked at this company.
Right.
I worked at that company. Think about specific projects that you worked on
Oh,
that showcase your skills
okay.
and your expertise in wood assembly.
All right. So give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you led a team
Mm-hmm.
that successfully completed a really complex assembly project.
Okay.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Or maybe you implemented a new process that improved efficiency
Okay.
or reduced waste.
Yeah.
Those are the things that you really want to highlight.
I like that.
Yeah.
So instead of just saying like, I was responsible for wood assembly,
Right.
you could say something like,
Yeah.
in my previous role, I managed a team of 5 assemblers,
Right.
and we consistently exceeded our production targets by 10%.
Yeah. Those numbers.
Yeah.
Those numbers are powerful.
Yeah, exactly. It's
They're
not just saying like, oh, I was good at this.
right.
It's like, no, I was this good at this.
Exactly.
You can quantify it.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't be afraid to tell a story.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
You know about a challenge that you overcame or an achievement that you're particularly proud of.
Like, oh, we had this huge order and it had a tight deadline, but I reorganized the workflow.
Yes.
And we were able to get it done on time and under budget.
Absolutely. Those are the stories that hiring managers want to hear.
Okay, I like that. So it's not just like,
Mhm.
I did this, I did this.
Right.
It's like, tell a story.
Tell a story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it memorable.
Okay, I like it.
Make it interesting.
All right, moving on to question number 2.
Oh.
This is, how do you ensure quality control during the wood assembly process?
Another very common one.
Yeah, so this is where you really want to show
Yes.
that you are meticulous.
Absolutely.
You are detail-oriented.
You have that keen eye for detail.
You're not going to let anything slip through the cracks.
Right. You want to demonstrate that you understand the importance of quality,
Okay.
that you're familiar with the standards,
Mm-hmm.
and that you have the experience to ensure those standards are met.
Okay, so what are some things that you would talk about when answering this question?
Talk about your experience with inspection processes.
Okay.
Talk about using measuring tools to make sure everything is precise.
Yeah.
Talk about how you identify defects.
Okay.
Maybe even share a story about a time that you caught a tiny flaw that could turn into a major problem.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Like I noticed there was like a discrepancy in this batch of wood components.
Right.
It wasn't obvious,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew it could affect the structural integrity later on down the line.
Exactly.
So I flagged it.
And you prevented a costly recall.
Yeah, exactly. We were able to get a new batch,
Mm-hmm.
and it saved the company thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, those stories I think are really powerful.
They are. They're really impactful.
Yeah.
And they show that you're proactive. You're
Yeah.
not just waiting for problems to happen. You're looking for them.
Okay.
You're trying to prevent them.
All right, so moving on to question number 3. This is, can you explain how you manage a team of wood assemblers?
All right, so this is the leadership question.
Yeah.
They want to know what kind of leader you are.
Okay.
So think about your leadership style. Are you a delegator?
Okay.
Do you like to collaborate?
Right.
Are you a hands-on leader? Do you lead by example?
Oh, okay.
Really think about what makes you an effective leader.
So be authentic in the way you answer.
Absolutely. Be honest, be yourself,
Okay.
but also highlight the strengths
Okay.
that make you a good leader.
And then give examples.
Yes, always give examples.
Like, I implemented a daily huddle with my team to make sure everybody knew what they were doing.
Yes.
And we were all on the same page.
Exactly. That shows that you value communication and that you're organized.
Okay.
And that you want your team to be successful.
All right. I like it. Let's move on to question number 4.
Okay.
This is, how do you ensure that wood assembly is completed on time and within budget?
Oh, this is a tough one.
Yeah. It is, because it's 2 things.
It is. It's 2 questions in one.
Yeah.
It's about time management.
And it's about budget management.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a double whammy.
Right.
Yeah. So what are some good strategies for tackling this one?
Well, first, you want to talk about your planning and scheduling skills.
Okay.
How do you break down a project
Okay.
into manageable tasks?
Right.
How do you estimate timelines?
Mm-hmm.
How do you allocate resources effectively?
Sure.
Really showcase your ability to manage a project.
So it's almost like project management.
It is project management.
Yeah.
And then on the budget side,
Okay.
talk about your experience with tracking expenses.
Okay.
Looking for cost-saving opportunities.
Right.
Making adjustments.
Maybe you can talk about a time when you negotiated with a supplier
Yes.
to get a lower price.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Show that you're...
Just stay on budget.
Yeah, you're fiscally responsible.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Right.
So it's not just about like, okay, here's the budget and I stick to it.
No.
It's like, how can I be smart with this budget?
Yeah. Exactly. How can you get the most bang for your buck?
Yeah.
Without compromising quality.
Okay. I like it. All right. So we've talked about a lot of these kind of like leadership and hard skills.
Right.
But I want to switch gears for a moment and talk about RoleCatcher's AI.
Okay.
Um,
This is where things get really interesting.
Yeah, it's one of the things that makes RoleCatcher
Yeah.
so different than just like your average career guide.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about how RoleCatcher uses AI to help people prepare for job interviews.
All right. So think of it like having a personal coach in your pocket,
Oh, wait.
right there with you, helping you every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the coolest things that RoleCatcher's AI can do
Yeah.
is it can analyze job descriptions.
Okay.
And it can pick out those keywords
Uh-huh.
that hiring managers are really looking for.
So it's like it knows the secret sauce?
It knows what they want to see.
Yeah.
And then it compares those keywords to your resume.
Okay.
And it tells you if you're missing any, and it suggests ways to improve your resume.
So it's like it's scanning the resume
It is.
and saying, oh, you need to beef this section up, or
Yeah.
you need to add this or change that.
Absolutely. And that's just the beginning.
Wow. Okay.
RoleCatcher also uses AI to help you write those amazing interview answers.
Oh, wow.
Those answers that are really going to impress the hiring manager?
Okay. So it's not just like, okay, here's a list of questions.
No.
It's like, here's how to answer them.
It actually helps you
Yeah.
craft the perfect answer.
Okay.
And you can even practice your answers
Oh, wow.
through video
Yeah.
and get AI-powered feedback.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's like a mock interview, but without the pressure.
Exactly.
And the AIs give you feedback like, oh,
Right.
you should have said this, or
Right. It'll tell you if you're using too much jargon,
oh, wow.
if you're not being clear enough,
Okay.
if you're rambling too much. It gives you really specific...
And it's all powered by AI.
Yeah.
It's not like a person sitting there.
No, it's all AI.
It's amazing.
And here's the best part.
Okay.
It tailors that feedback
Mm-hmm.
to the specific job you're applying for.
So if you're applying for a Wood Assembly Supervisor role,
Yes.
it's going to give you feedback.
That's tailored to that specific role.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about the role itself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about some of the interview questions.
Yep.
And we talked about...
RoleCatcher's AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool.
It's a game changer.
All right, so let's get back to those interview questions.
Okay.
The next one on the list is this. How do you handle conflicts or issues that arise during the wood assembly process?
All right. So every job has its challenges.
Yeah.
And this question is really getting at your conflict resolution skills.
Okay.
How do you handle those stressful situations?
Because it can be stressful,
It can be very stressful.
especially if you're dealing with a tight deadline.
Right.
And then something goes wrong,
Exactly.
you know?
So you want to show the hiring manager
Yeah,
that you can stay calm
right.
under pressure,
Not fall apart.
that you can think clearly,
Yeah.
that you can find solutions.
So what are some things you would talk about when answering this question?
Well, first you want to talk about your process
Okay.
for identifying the root cause of a problem.
So not just putting a Band-Aid on it.
Right. You want to get to the source of the issue.
Okay.
You want to understand why it's happening.
Yeah.
Then you want to talk about your communication skills.
Okay.
You know, can you effectively communicate
Yeah.
with the different parties involved?
Mm-hmm.
Can you facilitate a conversation
Yeah.
that leads to a resolution?
And then actually come up with a solution.
Right.
Okay. I like that.
And again, a specific example
Wow.
is always helpful.
So maybe there was a disagreement
Right.
between two team members
Mm-hmm.
about the best way to assemble something. And I stepped in and I said, okay,
Yeah.
Let's hear each other out.
Yeah.
Let's figure out a compromise that's going to work for both of you.
That's a great example.
And then ultimately led to a better product.
Yes. And it shows that you're a mediator,
Yeah.
not a dictator.
I like that. Yeah.
You're not just coming in and saying, do
Yeah.
it my way.
Yeah.
You're listening to everyone.
Yeah.
You're trying to find a solution that works for everybody.
All right. So moving on to a question that's a little more on the technical side.
Okay.
This is, can you describe your experience with power tools and equipment used in wood assembly?
Right. This is where you get to show off your skills,
Yeah.
your knowledge of the tools,
Yeah.
your expertise.
So go beyond just listing tools.
Right.
You know?
Don't just say, I know how to use a saw.
Yeah.
I know how to use a drill.
Talk about how you've used them
Yes.
successfully in the past.
Talk about your proficiency with each tool.
Okay.
Talk about any specialized training you've received.
Maybe safety training?
Absolutely. Safety is paramount.
Yeah.
So talk about the safety precautions you take.
Okay.
You could say, I'm highly proficient with table saws,
Yeah.
band saws, routers.
Uh-huh.
I have received specialized training on how to use these tools safely and efficiently.
Yep.
And I always emphasize the importance of wearing proper PPE to my team.
So you're showing that you not only know how to use the tools, but you understand the safety protocol.
Exactly. And that you're a responsible leader.
Yeah. Okay.
Who cares about the well-being of your team?
Speaking of safety,
Yes?
let's talk about this question. How do you prioritize safety during the wood assembly process?
This is a crucial question.
Yeah.
Because safety should always be the top priority
Absolutely.
in any manufacturing environment.
And you're the one who sets the tone.
You're the leader,
Yeah.
so you need to demonstrate that you take safety seriously.
That it's not just like, oh yeah, there's a rule book. I've got to
Right.
follow it.
No, you're going above and beyond. You're really creating a culture of safety
Okay.
where everybody feels comfortable speaking up
Yeah.
if they see something unsafe.
Okay, so what are some things that you would talk about when answering this question?
Talk about specific actions you've taken
Okay.
to create a safe work environment.
Right.
Have you implemented a system
Mhm.
for regular safety inspections of the equipment?
Okay.
Do you conduct weekly safety talks
Yeah.
with your team?
To kind of remind everybody.
Yeah, to reinforce best practice.
Well, hey,
though.
before you use that table saw, make sure
Exactly.
you have your safety glasses on and everything's right.
Yeah, and talk about how you encourage your team
Yeah.
to report any potential hazards.
Okay.
You want to create an environment
Yeah.
where people feel safe speaking up.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to question number 9.
Okay.
This is, how do you stay up to date with the latest wood assemble techniques and technologies?
All right, this question is really getting at your willingness to learn
Okay.
and to adapt.
Right, because things are always changing.
Absolutely. The industry is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
New technologies are emerging all the time.
Mm.
So the hiring manager wants to know
Yeah.
that you're going to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, so how do you demonstrate that?
Well, you need to talk about specific ways
like that.
that you stay informed.
Like reading trade magazines,
Yes, exactly.
going to conferences,
Attending industry conferences.
so taking online courses.
Absolutely.
Maybe you even follow certain people on LinkedIn
Right.
who are thought leaders in this industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you could say, I subscribe to Woodworking Magazine.
Okay.
I regularly attend the annual Woodworking Machinery and Supply Conference.
Yeah.
And I also follow industry experts on LinkedIn
Well, yeah.
to learn about the latest advancements in automation and robotics.
Right.
Really show them
Yeah.
that you're proactive.
That you're not just going to sit
Yeah.
there and wait for things to come to you.
Right. You're actively seeking out
Yeah.
new information.
I like it. And, of course, RoleCatcher can help with this, too. You
Absolutely.
can use the AI to...
You can use the AI to find relevant articles,
Yeah.
to find conferences,
Oh,
a way to find experts to follow.
Okay, so it's like your little AI assistant.
It is. It's your career sidekick.
I love it.
Right there in your pocket.
All right, so moving on to question number 10.
Okay.
This is, how do you manage inventory and supplies for wood assembly?
All right. So this one might seem a little bit less exciting
Yeah.
than some of the other questions,
Right.
but it's really important
It is.
because efficient inventory management is essential
Yeah.
for a smooth production process.
You don't want to run out of something.
Right. You don't want to have delays.
Yeah.
You don't want to have waste.
Right.
So you need to demonstrate
Mm.
that you understand the importance of inventory management.
So what are some key points you would hit
Yeah.
when answering this question?
Talk about your experience
Okay.
with inventory tracking systems.
Okay.
Have you used any specialized software?
Right.
Are you familiar with different methods like FIFO or LIFO?
Yeah. I don't even know what those are, but
Well, we can dive into that another time. But the point is,
Yeah.
you want to show
yeah.
that you understand the different systems
Okay.
and methods for
Yeah.
managing inventory.
Yeah.
And again, don't just name drop the systems.
Oh.
Explain how you've used them effectively.
Give a story.
Yes, tell a story.
Maybe a time when you anticipated a shortage
Yes,
and you were able to order more in time
exactly.
to prevent a delay.
Or maybe you implemented a new system
Yeah.
that reduced waste.
Okay.
You know, something like that.
So again, it's that storytelling.
Yes, storytelling is so powerful.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
It makes you memorable.
Yeah.
Makes you stand out.
All right. So we've covered a lot of ground in this first part
We have.
of our deep dive.
We've tackled some tough questions.
We have.
But we're just getting started.
Yeah. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
Absolutely.
There's a lot more to come.
There's a lot more to unpack.
So stay tuned.
Stay with us.
We'll be back soon with part 2
We'll be right back.
of this deep dive.
After a short break. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Wood Assembly Supervisors.
We are ready to tackle some more of those interview questions.
Absolutely. Let's dive right in.
Okay.
The next question on RoleCatcher's list is, how do you ensure that Wood Assembly meets customer specifications and expectations?
Okay, so this one is all about making sure that the final product
Yes.
actually meets the needs of the customer.
Absolutely. You want to demonstrate that you understand the importance of customer satisfaction.
Right, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
a happy customer is a returning customer.
Exactly. So how do you go beyond just saying, I make sure things are done right?
Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
No, definitely not.
So what are some more concrete things that you would talk about?
Well, you can start by emphasizing your meticulous attention to detail
Okay.
and your commitment to following established quality standards.
So it's not just about like doing things your way.
Right.
It's about adhering to those.
It's about following those industry best practices,
Yeah.
making sure that everything is up to code
Yeah.
and that you're delivering a product
Right.
that meets those high standards.
Okay, I like that. So you could say something like,
Yeah.
I carefully review all blueprints and specifications before starting any project.
That's a good word.
I also implement a multi-stage inspection process
Right.
to ensure that each component meets the required tolerances
Yes.
and that the final assembly is flawless.
Excellent. That shows that you're not just checking things at the end. You're
Yeah.
checking them throughout the process.
You're not just slapping it together and saying, okay, ship it out.
Exactly. You're making sure that quality is built in
Yeah.
every step of the way.
Okay. And what about communication with the customer?
Yes. Communication is key.
You don't want to just leave them in the dark.
Right. You want to keep them informed
Yeah.
throughout the entire process.
Okay, so you could add something like,
Yeah.
I believe in proactive communication with the client.
Yeah.
I provide regular updates
Yes.
on the project's progress,
That's great.
and I'm always available to address any questions or concerns they may have.
Perfect. That shows that you're not just focused on building the product.
Right.
You're focused on building a relationship
Okay.
with the customer.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about those tougher interview questions,
We have.
but I want to take a step back for a second
Okay.
and talk about RoleCatcher's Career Guide,
All right.
because it provides a lot of valuable information.
Absolutely. It's like the bigger picture
Yeah.
of the Wood Assembly Supervisor role.
Like what the work environment is like,
Yes.
what the industry trends are,
Mm.
even potential career paths.
It's a great resource.
So let's dive into some of those key takeaways from the Career Guide. One of the things that it really emphasizes is that this role is becoming increasingly tech-driven.
Absolutely. Technology is changing everything.
Yeah.
And the wood assembly industry is no exception.
So it's not just about knowing your way around a saw and a hammer anymore.
It's still important,
Yeah.
but you also need to be comfortable with technology.
What kind of technology are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking about robotics, we're talking about automation,
Okay.
we're talking about CNC machining.
Those are all becoming more prevalent.
Absolutely. These technologies are making the process more efficient,
Yeah.
more precise,
Okay.
and they're helping companies to produce
Yeah.
higher quality products.
So during the interview,
yeah.
you could tie this in by saying something like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about the increasing use of automation in wood assembly.
Right.
In my previous role,
Yeah.
I spearheaded the integration of a new CNC machine,
That's great.
which significantly increased our production capacity and reduced waste.
Perfect. That shows that you're not afraid of technology,
Right.
that you're willing to embrace it,
Right.
and that you understand how it can benefit the company.
Okay. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Another interesting point that the career guide brings up is the importance of soft skills.
Oh, absolutely. Soft skills are essential.
Yeah. So we're talking about things like
Communication,
Yeah.
teamwork,
problem solving,
all that good stuff.
all of that.
Yeah.
As a supervisor, you're not just managing machines.
Right.
You're managing people.
So how do you weave those soft skills into your interview answers?
Well, again, it's all about giving specific examples
Okay.
from your past experience.
So instead of just saying, I'm a good communicator,
Right.
you could say,
You could say, I implemented a system of daily progress reports
okay.
to keep everyone informed
Mhm.
and to ensure that we were all working towards the same goal.
I like it. So it's all about showing,
Yeah,
not telling.
exactly.
And the career guide also talks about potential career paths. It does. It talks about,
What you can go from here.
yes, it mentions possibilities like production manager,
Okay.
operations manager,
Mm.
quality assurance manager.
So you could even mention that during the interview.
Absolutely. You could say something like, I'm excited about the growth potential in this field.
Okay.
I see this role as a stepping stone to a more senior management position
Right.
where I can leverage my leadership skills
Yeah.
and my problem-solving skills.
To really make a difference.
Exactly.
That shows that you're ambitious,
Yeah.
that you're forward thinking,
That you're not just looking for a job. You're
Right.
looking for a career.
you're looking for a future.
And speaking of the future,
Yes.
let's not forget about our secret weapon, RoleCatcher's AI,
Oh, yes. RoleCatcher's AI can really help you.
to tailor your resume and your answers to those specific job roles.
Absolutely.
Like the ones that we just talked about in the career guide.
So let's say you're aiming for that production manager position.
RoleCatcher's AI can analyze job descriptions for production manager roles
Okay.
and identify the key skills and experience.
So it knows what they're looking for.
It does.
Okay.
It knows what those hiring managers want.
And then it compares those requirements
Yes.
to your existing resume.
And it'll tell you if you're missing anything.
Oh.
And it'll suggest ways to improve your resume.
So it's like having a personalized career coach.
It is. It's like having someone
Yeah.
who's guiding you every step of the way.
All right. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in the second part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've delved into some of those insights from the career guide.
And we've connected those insights back to those interview questions.
Yes. And how to really use those insights
Yeah.
to craft strong answers.
Absolutely.
But our deep dive isn't over yet.
Now we still have one more part to go.
Stay tuned for the final part.
We'll be right back.
And we are back for the final part of our deep dive.
I hope you're feeling ready to tackle that interview.
I think so. We've gone through a lot.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But before we wrap things up, let's
Yeah.
do a quick review
Okay, sounds good.
of those 10 interview questions.
A little refresher.
Yeah, just to make sure you're
Okay.
feeling super confident and prepared.
Absolutely.
So let's start with question number 1.
Okay.
The classic. Can you walk me through your experience with wood assembly?
The icebreaker.
Yeah. And remember, it's not just about listing your previous jobs.
No, you want to tell a story.
Yeah.
You want to highlight those achievements
Okay.
that make you stand out.
And quantify those results
Yeah.
whenever possible.
Yes, numbers speak volumes.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
really make an impact.
Okay, question number 2. How do you ensure quality control during the wood assembly process?
This is where you show your meticulous side, your attention to detail.
You're not going to let anything
Right.
slip through the cracks.
Absolutely not.
So talk about specific inspection techniques,
Right.
tools you're proficient with, and industry standards.
And don't forget that story
Oh, yeah.
about the time you caught a tiny flaw.
Yeah.
That could have been a big problem.
Question number 3. Can you explain how you manage a team of wood assemblers?
This is all about leadership.
Yeah.
What kind of leader are you?
Right.
Think about your leadership style and give concrete examples of how you've demonstrated those leadership qualities.
And be authentic.
Yes. Be yourself.
Don't try to be someone
Mm-hmm.
you're not.
The hiring manager will see right through that.
Okay, good point.
Be genuine.
All right, question number 4. How do you ensure that wood assembly is completed on time and within budget?
This one's a double whammy.
It is.
Time management and budget management.
So showcase your project management skills.
Yeah.
Talk about how you break down tasks,
Mm-hmm.
estimate timelines,
Right.
and allocate resources.
And if you've used any project management tools,
Yeah.
mention those as well.
And on the budget side,
Yeah.
talk about your experience with tracking expenses
Mm-hmm.
and negotiating with suppliers.
You want to show that you're fiscally responsible.
Absolutely.
Great.
Question number 5. How do you handle conflicts or issues that arise during the wood assembly process?
Conflict is inevitable.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
So be prepared to talk about how you handle it.
Yeah.
Give a specific example
Mm-hmm.
of a time when you successfully resolved a conflict.
Okay.
Highlight the steps you took,
Yeah.
the outcome.
And what you learned from the experience.
Exactly.
All right. Question number 6. Can you describe your experience with power tools and equipment used in wood assembly?
This is where you get to show off your hands-on skills,
Yeah.
your knowledge of the tools,
So go beyond just listing the tools.
Yeah.
Talk about your proficiency,
your expertise.
any specialized training,
Mhm.
and safety precautions.
Absolutely.
Question number 7. How do you prioritize safety during the wood assembly process?
Safety should always be the top priority.
yeah.
So talk about specific actions you've taken
Mm.
to create a safe work environment.
Yeah.
Have you implemented safety protocols?
Okay.
Do you conduct regular safety inspections?
Yeah. Do you encourage your team to report hazards?
Absolutely. You want to create a culture of safety
Okay. I like it.
where everyone feels comfortable speaking up.
All right. Question number 8. How do you stay up to date with the latest wood assembly techniques and technologies?
The industry is constantly evolving.
Yeah, it is.
So you need to show...
You're not going to fall behind.
Exactly. You want to stay ahead of the curve.
So talk about specific ways you stay informed.
Conferences, publications, online courses.
Following thought leaders on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
All of that.
Question number 9. How do you manage inventory and supplies for wood assembly?
This might seem a little bit mundane,
Yeah,
but it's really important.
it is. You don't want to run out of materials.
You don't want to have any delays.
Yeah.
So talk about your experience with inventory tracking systems
Okay. Talk about how you forecast demand.
and how you minimize waste.
Exactly.
And finally, question number 10. How do you ensure that wood assembly meets customer specifications and expectations?
This is where you bring it all together.
Yeah.
You want to show that you understand.
That the customer is king.
Yes, the customer is always right.
So emphasize your attention to detail,
Mm-hmm.
your commitment to following specifications.
And your proactive communication with the client.
Okay, so we've reviewed those 10 interview questions.
We have one last time.
Remember, these are just guidelines.
They are.
The most important thing is to be yourself.
Yes.
To let your passion shine through.
Be enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Be confident.
And demonstrate your genuine interest
Mm-hmm.
in the role.
And don't forget about RoleCatcher.
Oh yeah, RoleCatcher can really help you
To prepare for that interview?
and tailor your answers to the specific job.
Absolutely.
It's like having a secret weapon in your pocket.
It is. It can really give you an edge.
Well, that's it for our deep dive into the world of Wood Assembly Supervisors.
I hope you found this helpful
We hope you're feeling prepared.
and ready to ace that interview.
Remember, preparation is key.
It is.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
And the more likely you are to land that dream job.
And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher.
It's an amazing resource
It really is.
that can help you every step of the way
We'll be back soon with another deep dive.
into a new topic.
Until then, keep learning, keep growing.
And keep diving deep.
See you next time.